Welcome back, y'all. Today we're going to be talking about a Roblox game that I'm sure a lot of people have heard of. Some of y'all might have saw the title and went, oh my god, I haven't heard of that game in forever. Which is why I decided to create this video. How did a game like Astro Renaissance go from receiving 343,000 new visits in one day to averaging 20 to 40 concurrent players daily? Believe it or not, Astro Ren's loss in player base has a lot to do with Royale High Drama and the rise of Dress to Impress. But that's definitely not the only reason why players left the game. I actually created a community post about 2 weeks ago asking everyone how they felt about the game to understand why so many people stopped playing it, so we'll be going over that as well. Now before we get into all the drama, I'm gonna go ahead and start off by giving a quick summary of the game for those of you who've never heard of it. If you already know everything about Astro Ren, feel free to click the timestamp to jump ahead. As always, please be very demure, very mindful in the comments. Do not spread hate to any of these games mentioned in the video or their developers. Let's go ahead and start. Astro Ren is a space-themed role-playing game that was created by Comet Studios. Players are able to go on different space missions in order to earn rewards such as scepters for their avatar to wear and more. Players can also earn in-game currency known as moonstones by collecting them around the map, which can then be used to purchase clothing and accessories in the shop. There's also an arcade where players can grind for tickets by playing games like Balloon Popper and Astro Jump. Those tickets can either be used to purchase arcade prizes such as the outfit I'm wearing in this video, or they can be exchanged for moonstones. The arcade also has laser tag, which is super fun, but now there's not enough players to set up a match with. Besides the arcade and space missions, you can also complete NPC quests around the Citadel for XP and moonstones. That's pretty much it for the gameplay as of right now. There's an update that's supposed to be coming out sometime in the future where players will be able to have their own spaceship, which I think would be a great addition to the game, but there's no exact date as to when it'll officially release. Now that we're done talking about the gameplay, let's get into the messy release and re-release of Astro Renaissance. Astro Ren was officially released on February 10th of 2023. However, it was closed a day later due to data loss issues. The game was then re-released later that month on the 21st. Even though Astro Ren was able to open back up fairly quickly, in order to fix the data loss issue, all player data was wiped. This meant that any in-game store items that were bought, such as clothing and accessories, were removed from players' inventories. So basically, any kind of grinding that players put into the game was for nothing, which led to a lot of players quitting the game. Thankfully, with updates, new players would start to join the game. However, once updates started to slow down, the average player count would average around 20 to 30 players daily, which at the time wasn't too bad considering the game had just released and it's still under development. But maybe if the unfortunate data loss incident hadn't occurred, the game would have been able to gain more traction and maintain a higher amount of players. It sucks that such a beautifully made game suffered so many setbacks from the very beginning, but thankfully that didn't stop the developers from continuing to work on the game. Eventually, all their hard work would grab the attention of the Royale High community. This leads us to the next section. I'm sure a lot of people watching already know all about the constant issues going on between the RH community and its developers. If you aren't aware, I suggest checking out my video, The Decline of Royale High, How Dress to Impress is Leading the Way, to get the full details. But to summarize, earlier this year, Royale High players were super frustrated with the development of the game. A few months prior, Royale High released Campus 3, which a lot of players disliked due to it being super grindy and it not focusing on the role-playing aspect as much anymore. There were also a lot of bugs and unfinished parts of the map that to this day still were never completed or were just removed from the game entirely. Besides the messy release of Campus 3, the game started going downhill even faster with the release of player dorms. The pricing for dorm items were insane, which didn't sit right with a lot of players in the community. Even without the dorms, dress-up items in Royale High are also insanely expensive. Just to get a decent pair of heels, you need to grind like 6 to 8 hours a day. Trust me, I would know. On top of people hating Campus 3, the game mechanics, and how expensive everything got, Royale High players were getting sick and tired of developers not listening to any of the community's concerns. This led to a lot of players boycotting the game, but it wasn't a significant amount to where the dev team finally decided to make some changes. That is, until earlier this year when Royale High made a decision that would change their game forever. On February 13th, Callmehhaley released a video called Royale High Remove My Badge, This Is Why. I recommend y'all check it out if y'all want to see the full breakdown of everything that went down, but for the sake of this video, I'll read through some of the screenshots and try my best to summarize everything. Callmehhaley used to be a part of Royale High's influencer program. She would make videos showing gameplay, discussing leaks, and other Royale High related news. Now it seems that in some of her videos, she would express concern about the game and offer her personal critiques. She also made a joke on Twitter saying, "Ugh, guys, I just found out you have to give Royale High your Roblox password to get the Halo. That's why it's so rare right now. People are thinking it's a scam, but it's not. It's totally 100% real and not a joke at all. This is the new update." In the replies, she clarified it was a joke, but that didn't stop Royale High from commenting. The Royale High account replied to the tweet saying, "We would like to clarify for obvious reasons that this isn't true. Please do not tell anyone in Royale High or anywhere else your Roblox password or private info." And then they unfollowed Callmehhaley. She then made a tweet saying how she was just joking and it wasn't meant to be taken seriously, and then the RH account followed her back.
What is going on here? This is not normal. This is not how things are supposed to function.
Which in my opinion, it's really weird and passive aggressive on RH's end, but moving on. Callmehhaley decided to reach out to Royale High through Discord regarding the issue, and they sent back a really long reply. I'll go ahead and just read the most important parts. To clarify, after your tweet regarding sharing passwords, we were reached out by some concerned parties regarding the implications your tweet could have. As a result, we felt compelled to publicly comment on your post to ensure our players' safety. If it weren't a matter of public cybersecurity, we of course would have DM'd you privately instead. While we understood that it was a joke and believe the majority of people would have also understood that, it is still very important to protect the minority of players who may be adversely impacted by it. There are players who share their passwords with other players for the exact reason you joked about. We receive emails from these players regularly, and players even send us their login information regularly, even before your joke. We always want to contribute to safe online behavior as much as we can. We don't believe jokes are entirely off limits, but this may need to come with a clarification for the more impressionable of our audience. Royale High then yapped about cybersecurity a little bit longer until they changed their whole tone. Royale High said, "Your comment responses, especially those that were joking and laughing along with people who were directly mocking our response, does not reflect well on the relationship between the social media team and you. We want to always show mutual respect both ways between us and our program members. We have discussed with you before about being open for you to contact anytime should you ever need to discuss any issues or ask any questions. Despite this, you choose to discuss your frustrations publicly, sharing your concerns on social media despite having direct access to talk to us. Unfollowing you was unintentional, and had you reached out to inform us or ask us why it happened, we would have gladly rectify the situation and explain what happened to you." Royale High then went ahead and brought up some stuff that seems to have been bothering them for a while that Callmehhaley had done. Some examples that the RH team mentioned that rubbed them the wrong way was Haley's tweets about the apple bobbing situation. They also got upset because she made a video titled "Halloween Update Could Be Cancelled This Year," which I guess led a lot of players to spam message the devs regarding if it was true. But anyways, Royale High then said, "These are examples of things we want to have open and respectful communication about. At this current time, we feel we cannot successfully establish that communication with you, and it is important that we do so to maintain a respectful association." At this time, as a result of our inability to establish a healthy communication between us, we have decided that we are going to have to remove you from our Crown Royalty program. We are deeply sorry that we have to do so. However, you will always be able to reach out to us, and we have refollowed you. So basically, Royale High removed Callmehhaley's badge for publicly criticizing the game on her platform. With this whole issue going on, Callmehhaley decided to stop playing the game, and a lot of people in the community followed her lead. Even Creekcraft made a video on the situation, which put a nail in the coffin in my opinion. The backlash was so massive that Royale High did something no one expected. They apologized for their actions, but also tried to pin the blame on the social media team and how they mishandled the situation. But it was too late, the damage was done. So now that Callmehhaley wasn't playing Royale High anymore, what game would she play instead? A few days after the drama, she would post her first video about Astro Renaissance. This led to the game skyrocketing from 20 players to 3K concurrent players a day. And Royale High went from 20K players to about 12 to 15K concurrent players daily, which is the lowest it's ever been. Astro Ren seemed to be the next top dress-up game until one day Royale High went
How y'all doing?
Here's that new update y'all been begging for the last 6 months. Then everyone went, boycott? What boycott? Now that we're done with this section, let's talk about how Dress to Impress comes into the mix. While a lot of content creators were still boycotting Royale High, some went back to making content surrounding the game, which is understandable to be honest. Astro Ren is a fun game, but there's a limit as to how much you can do. Content creators and players alike would eventually get bored and move back to the game they felt offered the most content. Royale High seemed to be climbing its way back to the top until one game started to make a name for itself, and that's where Dress to Impress made an entrance. Even though Dress to Impress released in November of 2023, it began to gain significant traction around the time that the Royale High boycott was going on. The difference is, DTI was already maintaining 15 to 20k concurrent players daily before any of the drama began, so the game was destined to succeed. The uprise of DTI led to a never-ending feud between loyal Royale High players and Dress to Impress stans. Many content creators completely switched from making Royale High content to exclusively posting DTI videos. A lot of former Royale High players were incredibly happy to finally see the downfall of the game after so many years of mistreatment from the developers. But during all of this chaos, Astro Ren was slowly forgotten and left in the shadows. This led to the game going back to 20 to 50 concurrent players daily, and with every passing day, it seemed to get lower and lower. While all this drama and feuding has affected Astro Ren's player count, this isn't the only reason why players decided to stop playing the game, including me. This leads us to the next section. So let's start with a comment that was posted by Lemon Velvet, who actually worked on Astro Ren as a concept artist. I am the concept artist for the spiked collar you can win in the claw machine. I love the game and I am very happy about the inclusivity items and think the game would be much more successful if they didn't write off the idea of being the better Royale High instead of actually making their own game with newer concepts and advertising. Of course, this is just my opinion and I still think the game is great overall. It is very buggy, but that's a guarantee in any early stage game. I love all the item designs and it was an honor to work with the team to make mine happen. The next comment is from Nate Egg the Egg. The items are so much higher quality and more varied than any other game, and it feels like a wholesome community with some really hardworking devs. My one issue is I wish they could expand the city or add a large area to allow for some more role playing or exploration. I feel like it was done so well, but there just isn't enough of it. Absolutely love the game though. The neurodiverse said, the star alien theme is cool, but the game was so laggy on my part. I could only get to the home screen you meet when you join the game, and that hadn't even fully loaded. But on the part of the home screen that did load, the phone thingy gave me Royale High vibes, not gonna lie. Quacking Geese commented, the clothes are so pretty and I love the whole alien space vibe, but there isn't much to do after you do the quest on the planets. I do definitely like how easy farming is, and I love the laser tag minigame. Overall, I think the game has a lot of potential if it added more to do. Nick said, I genuinely forgot about this game, but it was really cool and player friendly. The quests were so fun and the music is so pretty. Michaela's the person said, I don't really play it right now since I got bored, but I really want to see more gameplay from it. I think a while ago there was a yet to be released your own spaceship thing, which I was excited about. When playing the game, I thought a lot about the lore behind it. It was cool. Nocturne 103 commented, it's a good game, it's just after the quest it gets boring fast. But farming is really easy, but again it gets quite boring after a while. But even so, I still play it. It's nice and cute and I love its concept. And Vesperine commented, it's fun for when you want to dress up and wear pretty clothing, but apart from that, the game mechanics are kind of repetitive and boring. I wish the game got updated more and had more quests. Although I can appreciate the fact that it's a really easy to grind game and buy new items, overall it's a pretty fun game, just that it's not a game you can really binge. So overall it seems like a lot of players stop playing because it gets boring fast and there's a lot of bugs and lagging. Personally, I haven't experienced lagging, but I have noticed a couple of bugs here and there. The main thing I agree with is the game does get a bit boring. Don't get me wrong, Astro Ren is beautiful. I love the art style, the clothing and accessories are designed incredibly well. They even have accessibility items for players to use, which I don't see often in games. I also really love the variety of hair options and faces. But honestly, the most fun I've had had is in the arcade and laser tag. While the space missions are a cool concept, they're painfully slow in my opinion, especially the nade mission. It took me like an hour to find 10 out of 13 crystals, and then I quit because I wanted to play Fortnite. Besides the arcade and the space missions, there's nothing else to really do, but like Lemon Velvet mentioned, the game is still in its early stages. There also haven't been a lot of updates recently, which the devs have commented on in their Discord server. I personally believe they should take their time releasing the next update, so that way there's a lot of new content for players to get into, rather than releasing little bits here and there. I believe Astro Renaissance will make a comeback once updates start releasing again. I genuinely feel like this game deserves way more love and support than it's currently receiving, but like any great game, it takes time. I'm honestly excited for the next Astro Ren update. I would love to have my own spaceship that I can decorate and hang out in. I'm also hoping they add new space missions and quests. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about Astro Renaissance. Do you still play it or did you stop? Also, let me know how you feel about the Royale High Drama with Callmehhaley. Did you join the Boycotts and quit Royale High, or did you stay loyal to the game? Okay, I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Okay, bye. See you. Bye.